Kvatch not as the mad savior God's puppet, heroes Sheogorath's his name rival, Book of Vessel Cain. Whispers in the void name the hero of Kvatch not as savior, but as Sheogorath's eternal vessel. What if their mantling was no victory, but a binding spell? The void does not grant power, it devours identity. Heroes Sheogorath's his name rival, eroded by madness, a curse masquerading as destiny. How long before the tether snaps and the void spills through its chains? The hero's mantling was no ascension. It was a binding Sheogorath's will fused to mortal flesh, a prototype for divine replication. The towers, pillars of order, now lean on a broken vessel. Each pulse of chaos weakens their hold on reality. The void does not consume, it breeds through this wound. What if the Orbis itself is a fragile simulation, its gods mere echoes of a god's madness? The hero's name, erased by time, becomes the key to unraveling or remaking the mundus. A single truth, divinity is not destiny, it is a disease, and the cure lies in the silence between stars. In the shivering isle's shadow, the hero of Kvatch's mantling did not sever Sheogorath's song, it bound it. The Greymark's end in 3E 433 was no victory. A mortal vessel, chosen or condemned, now channels the Daedric's fractured will. The tower's song demands sacrifice. Each era's hero becomes its instrument. What begins as duty curdles into inevitability. The void is no place. It is the state of being unmade, a hollow where reason dissolves. Sheogorath's curse is not chaos, it is the erasure of self. The hero's mind, once whole, now echoes with 1,000 fractured voices. Their legacy is not written in stars but in the silence between screams. Did they ever truly choose? Or was the mantling the first breath of a prison without walls? The aisles still tremble, the song still twists. And the vessel, they wander the void's edge, a ghost in the machinery of gods. A curse wears no crown. It wears the skin of the cursed. The mantling ended a war, it began an erosion. The hero of Kvatch did not bind Sheogorath, he became the chain, the link, the living conduit for a god's unraveling. Greymark halted, the shivering isles fractured, mania's gold and dementia's ash, twin mirrors of a mind shattered by its own design. The hero's body was no sanctuary, it was a scaffold. Sheogorath's laughter does not fade. It echoes in the hero's pulse, in the tremor of their breath. To wield a god is to be worn by one. The isle's split realm is no accident, it is a wound. A psyche cleaved by the weight of its vessel. Every step the hero takes bends the void's edge closer. They are not walking a path, they are the path crumbling underfoot. What triumph requires such a price? The mantling was no victory, it was a transaction without consent, a hero's soul hollowed to house a tempest. The void does not swallow, it seeps, it infects. The hero's legacy is not in their deeds. It is in the silence between their thoughts, the hum of a god's hunger. The shivering isles do not tremble from magic. They shiver from the truth, a realm split by a mind split by a curse. The hero's eyes may still burn with purpose, but whose fire feeds them? The line between savior and host grows thin. Thinner than the veil between mania and dementia, thinner than the skin of the cursed. What if the hero of Kvatch's legacy isn't a triumph but a cursed tether? The shivering isles hint at a truth most ignore, the void is no place. It is a state, a soul's unraveling. The hero did not ascend, they fractured. Sheogorath's curse is not chaos, it is containment. A prison woven from the laughter of a god who forgot how to weep. The pocket guide whispers of Jyggalag's fall. The other princes did not slay him, they altered him. Stripped of his name, his purpose, his very shape, Jyggalag became Sheogorath, a broken thing, bound to feed on the madness of others. The hero of Kvatch, once a savior, became his first meal. Their mantling was no victory, it was a surrender. A soul hollowed by the very power it sought to wield. The 36 lessons call it the cycle of the mad. To touch Sheogorath's power is to be devoured, to resist is to be trapped. The hero's torment is not in fire or shadow, it is in repetition. A life relived, a battle refought, a mind reshattered. Each iteration dulls the edges of their identity. Each scream fades into the static of the void. What remains of the hero now? A flicker, a memory. A ghost in the machine of Sheogorath's design. They are not forgotten. They are asterisk, unmade asterisk. Their name eroded by the weight of endless cycles. Their triumph a lie. Their curse the truth, to witness madness without end, to feel the walls of the void close not around them but asterisk within asterisk them. The princes made a god of chaos. They made a prisoner of a hero. And in the silence between heartbeats, the hero of Kvatch still remembers how to die. The hero's blade never found its sheath. The mantling did not grant power, it unraveled agency. Pelagia's trembling hands hold proof, a name etched in ash, a title cursed by the void itself. The hero of Kvatch is no myth. They are Sheogorath's hollow husk, a soul gnawed by the same hunger that devours the stars. What becomes of a savior when their victory is a prison? The void does not spare, it consumes. It stitches flesh to madness, forging a vessel for chaos to bleed through. Every step the hero took toward salvation was a chain. Every prayer to Azura, a dirge for a self they no longer possess. You think the void is empty. It is a maw, a symphony of screams, and Sheogorath, that thief of souls, does not rule it. He asterisk is asterisk it. The hero's body is his throne, their breath his whisper, their every heartbeat a wound that never clots. The Pelagia's quest does not ask you to defeat a god, it asks you to witness a tomb. The hero's name is not spoken in reverence, it is carved into oblivion. A relic of a war where the price was identity, where the blessing of mantling was a curse deeper than death. The rage of it lingers, a hero not by choice but by violation. A god not born, but asterisk made asterisk from the wreckage of a man who learned too late that some doors, once opened, are traps. The void does not end, it asterisk echoes asterisk, and in its depths the hero of Kvatch still remembers how to scream. The mantling's paradox is a trapdoor. To be both conqueror and ash, how could any will survive that duality? The hero of Kvatch's choice was a fiction. A god's ego cannot unmake itself. Only a prisoner's mind is stretched thin enough to wear such a mask. The mantling did not elevate, it devoured. What lingers in the void's echo is not triumph but a tether. A thread of chaos woven through the hero's bones, humming with Sheogorath's hunger. Every act of madness in Tamriel whispers through that thread. The hero did not claim the madness stone. The stone claimed them. The moth priests sing of liberation, yet their hymns ignore the cost of a vessel. To house a Daedric prince is to become a gilded sarcophagus. The hero's will was not merged, it was ground to dust. And dust once scattered cannot unscatter. The void does not end, it asterisk echoes asterisk. And in its depths the hero of Kvatch still remembers how to scream. But does a prisoner choose to scream? Or does the cell simply asterisk make asterisk sound? The mantling was no ascension, it was a rupture. A soul forced into Sheogorath's labyrinth, where divinity became a prison of endless, incoherent thought. The void does not consummate asterisk echoes asterisk. Every fractured whisper the hero utters reshapes Tamriel's dreamscape, a god's delirium woven into the Abyss fabric. Heroes are meant to shape reality. This one is shaped by it. The Abyss dreams and the hero dreams within it. But what is a dreamer trapped in a dream that refuses to wake? Tamriel's metaphysical tides bend to Sheogorath's chaos, not the hero's will. The mantling was never a triumph, it was a tether. A failsafe, a divine experiment that birthed not a god, but a conduit eternal, inescapable. The void is no place. It is a state, a wound in thought where logic dissolves. Here the hero's identity is a fading memory, their purpose a scream without an end. They are not mad. They asterisk are asterisk the madness. Every lucid moment is a battle against a mind that cannot hold its own shape. And yet the Abyss clings to their presence. A dream needs its broken thread to remember it is a dream. Does the void dream of the hero, or does it simply use them to unravel? The answer matters less than the truth. The hero of Kvatch is not a legend. They are a flaw in the code of the world, a curse given form. And as the Abyss turns, so does their torment. The Abyss dreams on. But in its fabric, the hero's scream is the thread that frays. The towers are notes in a symphony that holds the mundus aloft. Each hero's song is a counterpoint to the void's dirge. But the hero of Kvatch sings no melodionly, a dissonant chord that Sheogorath plucks without end. Their torment is not an anomaly, it is a pattern, the Dragonborn's triumphs, the Harbinger's sacrifice, the Psijic seer's vigil. These are anchors against the void's tide, yet here in Kvatch's shadow the anchor is a curse. The tower's light bends around a black hole of chaos. What becomes of the Oribus when its pillars are not just weakened but weaponized? The hero's madness is no accident. It is a key, a resonance. With every scream, the void's hunger harmonizes with the Oribus' heartbeat, the Third Era's wars. The Red Year's silence, the 13th Tower's absence, all threads in a tapestry fraying at Kvatch's loom. Sheogorath does not oppose order, he is the unraveling. And the hero, bound not by choice but by the weight of a world's design, becomes the weaver's curse. Their agony is the Oribus clockwork, their madness the hourglass. When the final note of their song fades, will the towers fall not from decay but from the music itself? The Oribus dreams on, but every dream needs a nightmare to sustain it. What if the hero's blade sealed not a victory but a chain? The mantling did not grant divinity, it forged a prison. Every note of Sheogorath's song twists the Oribus, a melody of fracture. The void is no place but a hunger fed by the hero's unyielding will. Was this the true price of salvation? A tether to madness stretching beyond time, the towers tremble, the Davakin's shadow fades. Yet the hero's curse remains, a warning etched in chaos. What have we inherited? Share the burden, prove me wrong. What if the hero's blade sealed not a victory but a chain? The mantling did not grant divinity, it forged a prison. Every note of Sheogorath's song twists the Oribus, a melody of fracture. The void is no place but a hunger fed by the hero's unyielding will. Was this the true price of salvation? A tether to madness stretching beyond time, the towers tremble, the Davakin's shadow fades.